All right, welcome everybody. So today we are live here on YouTube Live. I want to first thank all of my subscribers and all my supporters. YouTube gave me permission to today, the other day, and which is a big deal because it means anything extra I can make off the channel, I can just put it back into creating better videos for you guys. So what I would like to do on this channel is really, or on this live here, is really just explain how Crystal, the girl who I'm going to start off with this, and as you guys, as I'm going through this, you guys can ask any questions that you want. How Crystal McGregor uh, was able to make 750 or write 750,000 in premium in a year. Now she didn't just write that; that's how much was issued business, and in a 12-month period, selling 100% over the phone. So I'm going to give you guys some tips here on how you can do the same thing that Crystal did. Now she's an anomaly. Some people may not ever get to that point where they're selling that much. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, please just drop it in the comments here. More than happy to answer any questions that you have as you're going through this. If you have any questions about sales, if you have any questions about marketing, if you have any questions about agent, anything that you need, anything you need help with, just drop it in. Anything maybe you're dealing with, you need help with to overcome, to get your career on the right track, drop it in the comments, drop it in the questions here, and I'll be more than happy to help you. So a couple tips on how Crystal did this. First off, she was able to make this much by just working all day, right? This girl worked 6 to 7 days a week, working 12 hours a day. She had 28 weeks in a row where she wrote over 20,000 AP. So she wrote over 20,000 AP 28 weeks in a row. Now, she's not doing that on a 9 to 5. Okay, she's not doing that on a normal work schedule. She is obsessed with making that happen and put in that effort. In addition to that, she's always trying to get better. So she's always working on her sales skills. She's always working on learning about products, learning about competitors, and learning how to get better. And also, if she has and she brings it up with people, and if she has something in life that's tough for her to work on and get through, then she brings that up, and she talks to her upline and her mentors there on how she can get through that. So it's really what it is, what it comes down to. It comes down to making that much money, comes down to putting in a ton of effort over a long period of time. She's been doing this like 5 or 6 years. She's been selling life insurance on the phone for several years. She sold tax relief on the phone before that. And if you've heard, she's developed her rebuttals and her objection responses to a degree that most people will never get to. She's mastered and honed in on it to the point where she says almost the same thing every time. And she has her tone down. And then another thing too, she doesn't waste time when presenting to people who she doesn't think are going to buy. Okay. Now, do I think she could have written this much in a different system? I don't know, right? Because it's a little different here setup. We have our agents on the phone taking live transfers throughout the day. Okay, we provide leads to all of our agents. So it's a different setup. It's a lower commission percentage, and you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You don't have to worry about a CRM. You don't have to worry about leads. You don't have to worry about chargebacks. We have chargeback protection accounts built in. So it's a lot of stuff there that gives from some perspective on what it is. So Crystal can sit there and take live transfers throughout the day to enclose them. Now, if any of you are saying, "Oh, well, that's easy," then, well, I'd like to, right? It's still challenging. Work, your sales. If any of you if you've ever taken live transfers before, you know that it's not someone just sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm ready to buy life insurance right now." There's still some sales required. It still requires a lot of effort. So that is really how she did it, guys. She sat down and she made those calls for a long period of time. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about is just getting on the phone and making calls, please, because agents, the biggest challenge that they have is getting on the phone and making calls. They get terrified to make calls, absolutely terrified. And I get it. I've been there. It can be a challenge. Anybody here, drop in the comments, please. Ask me any questions at all. Drop them in the comments. Do you need anything? Do you need help with any sales? Any questions on scaling? what are you guys running into? I see I got a couple viewers right here. What are you guys running into that you need help with in your day-to-day stuff? Okay, what live transfer system do you use? Of course, or can we pay to learn how to generate those live transfers, or are they generated overseas? Okay, so I have a video that explains how to generate live transfers for final expense. So you can actually check out my channel, how to do that. So in addition to that, you can check how to generate inbound calls from social media. We generate live transfers from overseas. So we have our call center that we contract with exclusively that they for us. But there are plenty of overseas call centers that generate live transfers. So the trick to handling live transfers is getting them on the phone and not just go, well, it depends. So what I meant is properly. So it depends on the transfer. If you have whatever the buffer is on the transfer, say you got like a 60 to 90, say you got a 90-second buffer. A lot of them are 90 to 120 seconds, meaning you have 90 to 120 seconds before you're billed for the transfer. In that time, I'd say, hey, look, has life insurance been something on your to-do list in your recent history? Has life insurance been something on your to-do list recently? They're like, no. They're like, okay. If at any point in the last 6 months have you thought about having to get life insurance or make sure something's in place for your family? And they say no, hang up. Don't keep going. You're not going to try to sell to someone who doesn't have a need. So if they say yeah, it has. Be like, okay, awesome. Just to make sure, are you capable of making insurance decisions by yourself? Yes, cool. Are you also capable of making financial decisions by checks for you? Does anybody else have to give clearance on any accounts? Does anybody else have oversight of your finances? No. Okay, great. If someone does, you have to get that person on the phone or move on. Okay. And also, do you have an active checking or savings account? I say it like this. I don't need any specific information, but do you have an active checking or savings account? Some of our carriers offer discounts if you have an active account. And they may say, yeah. Say, okay, cool. So you got to have the decision maker, they have to have a need, and they have to have the means to pay for it. So those are three things. And you can also ask, okay, now most of our policies on the very low end are $40 a month. Is $40 a month something that would take food off your table? If they say yes, I wouldn't move forward with that. Okay, I would just hang up. Like, and who cares if the company's selling you the transfers, gets pissed. You don't know what source they're using or whatever. But these are things you want to upfront qualify real quick. So do they have the means? Can they do at least $40 a month? Yes. Do they have a bank account? Yes. Can they make their own decisions? Do they have a need for insurance? Average cap cost per live overseas. Well, that's kind of like, I would say it's private information for our agency, but you can just do the math, right? I mean, if you get someone that's charging you $18 for a live transfer, you got to imagine they're making a good profit on. They have to make a profit on that. They're buying the data for it. They are paying the agent to make the calls. They have their overhead. They have their CRM they pay for. They have their everything. So they're making a profit on that lead for sure. And there's a cost on top and then the profit. So it depends how cheap you got data and who you had them call. I mean, if you wanted to get a bunch of aged leads for $1.50, $2, and have a VA just call through them, train the VA on how to handle the live transfer script, and then have them transfer over to you once they get someone on the phone, too. All right. Where to buy aged leads, Mike K. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a link in the video here. I put a link right here. So you can go to this website here. This is for some aged Facebook leads. It's a really good source for aged Facebook leads, www.agedfexleads.com, and the whole link there. So there's statewide aged leads, and then local age coming soon, get notified when available, county-based. But if you look here, there's so many aged leads on this site. It's like nuts. And my buddy owns this site. He's a great person. I'm screen here on this so you can see. And what are we going to do? Share screen. We're going to share this, and we're going to share this window. You guys can see this here. So this is what the website looks like if anybody wants to buy aged leads. So the way you generate your own live transfers is you go to a site just like this, and you can buy aged leads. You can buy data, but if you buy aged leads, you know, this is one way. This is a way. So go here, you go aged leads, This is the list of all the available leads. So essentially, there's 2,700 age leads in Alabama, 3,300 in Arizona, almost 10,000 in California. There's so many age leads, right? Like a lot. So check this out, and you'll check in and say, hey, those are the information here. If you get 1,000, they're $1,500. There's another source too for age internet leads that I have. So I have another internet leads that you can do too. And if you guys want that, then I can send that link to you as well. It's totally fine. Internet, Facebook leads, either way. In lead order form, name and lead preference. So like if you want like 100, say you wanted 200 in 150 in Texas, 250 Kansas, 100 Florida. So you put your lead preference there. So you look up here, I want 200 in Indiana, I want 200 in Louisiana, 200 in Kentucky, 200 in Kansas, 200 in Michigan. I think that's 1,000. Get them there, like whatever your preference is, then you put your card number, you complete your order. And then what you do is LT scripts, and then um, you have your VA, right? Your VA essentially calls and says, hi, John. Yeah, James. Yes. Hi, James. This is Sharon with Senior, whoever the VA is, Senior Benefits. How are you? Great. Well, the reason just have them go through this script, follow it, and at the end you have the VA merge you into the call. And then that's one way that you can generate your own live transfer. So you buy them. I also have a great source for age internet leads that a friend of mine has. So reach out for wherever. But you do that, and then you can just, if they get someone on the phone, they transfer them over to you. So that's a way to generate aged internet leads. I mean, not aged internet leads, live transfer leads. And then also pretty good success this week with YouTube leads. I've been generating my own YouTube leads, which is great. So that's huge. Generating YouTube leads have been great. They all have iPhones. I've noticed every YouTube lead that I call has an iPhone. I got my loaner phone right here. That to get fixed. Anybody else have any questions for me here? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, so I guess I'll get into it. So if you guys are working YouTube leads are rare. So if you want to buy reach out to me. Just email me, jve@thejbe.com. I don't sell them, but I can hook you up with someone who does, who runs a really, really good YouTube lead uh, platform. Awesome results. They're getting people hitting like 10, 15,000 AP a week selling the YouTube leads. They're definitely different than Facebook lead. It's more of an untapped market. So reach out to me if you want to learn about YouTube leads, and we can teach you probably how to generate your own, or if you don't want to deal with that, because honestly, YouTube leads are more complicated to generate than Facebook leads. Facebook leads, it's an easier way to set it. YouTube's a little more complicated. Hey guys, my internet totally crashed out on me. So, well, uh, everybody probably bounced, but yeah, my, I'm sorry, I don't know why. I don't know why it never crashes. So Peter Roberts shooting you a message, interested at 85K AP last month. Wow, Peter, that's awesome, dude. Good for you, dude. Dude, Peter, let's set up an interview, man. I don't know if you're on here, but I hope you're shooting me an email here. Let me check to see if you did. Anybody else have any questions about live transfers or internet leads or anything like that? Let me get Peter. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, so Peter, shoot me an email, dude. I'd love to interview you for my channel if you'd be open for that. And I'm like, how you did it? How'd you hit that? How'd you hit that much production in that amount of time? Like, that's huge, bro. Like, don't do that in a year. You know, you did it in a month. So that's awesome, man. Good for you. Anybody else have any questions about it, about any of that stuff? YouTube leads, live transfers. Brand new agent should be able to sell this week. What's your advice for someone just starting in the industry? Um, are you selling on the phone or face to face, Josh? And if you're working with me here, I'm sorry, I have a lot of people starting up. I'll see you when you do. If you're not working with me here, it's cool. I'll help you either way. I just, if you are, I don't want you to feel insulted because I have so many people that start up every week. So I do meet everybody, but over the phone, cool. Um, I would get a ton of age leads. Okay, so I'd get a ton of age leads, and then I would also make sure that here. This is what I would do. Um, to start off, you're going to want to start getting age leads. So if you go on my YouTube channel, if you search across my YouTube channel for aged leads, you're going to learn some stuff on there. Okay, I have a video that I released the other day of how to make 100K selling aged leads over the phone. You're going to want to watch that, and you're going to want to take what you learned from there. And I have my whole script there, so I'll give you the whole script too. Okay, so you're going to watch that. I would also learn how to generate your own Facebook and YouTube leads and run campaigns. Um, buy a bunch of age leads, get a CRM, learn how to run ads on YouTube and Facebook, and then get my script and memorize it and just get that down. And buy training courses too. I have a telesales training course that you can get. There are other people who have them. You can get personal development courses. You can get engaged however you can do. You got to invest in yourself. I put a bunch of money on credit cards when I started because I didn't have the cash to afford the courses. You may or may not. Maybe you do or don't have credit cards, but it's an investment. It's not really an expense, right? I looked at it as like, hey, if I got this sales course and I made 2 sales or 1 sale, it more than paid for itself. So you got to invest. You got to invest in leads. You got to invest in sales. You got to invest in marketing, all that stuff. So my advice would be don't underestimate how much effort it's actually going to take for you to be successful in this. Okay, so it's going to take a lot of effort. Like if you ask Peter, I would imagine that he put in a really good amount of effort, right, to hit that 85,000 last month. He did 85K AP last month, so that's huge. Totally crushing it. So you're going to want to make sure that you don't underestimate the amount of effort that you need to be successful. Okay, I put my email in there if you want to reach out. You have any questions, you can reach out to me there. Take advantage of tools, take advantage of your upline, talk to people in your agency who are doing their thing, and put a max effort forth. Okay, because that's really what it comes down to. Like who's going to put in the most effort, who's going to hustle, who's going to grind. That's what it comes down to, Josh. You got to put in that time. You got to put in that work, man. I love it though, dude. I was a brand new agent at one point. We all were. And I know what it's like to be new in the business. It's intimidating. You're like, shoot, like I got to call a bunch of strangers and sell them a product that, look at it as helping families. Look at it as like, I'm going to try to protect, I want to try to help 15 people cover their funerals. And it doesn't have as much of an impact as it does until you file the first death claim with the client that you really loved, like one of your favorite clients. Once you do that, it's like, man, that person, like I really helped their family. I really helped them handle this. So invest in yourself. If you like some resources for age leads, CRMs, whatever you need to know, and you just anybody want to link up for a phone call, just shoot me an email, jve@thejve.com. I actually got a couple people that I have to reach out to here. Peter, I just got your email. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Any other questions from you guys? Anybody got any questions here for me? I'm an open book. Marketing, growing an agency. Cool, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it too. Any of you guys have any questions for me about sales or marketing or growing an agency or anything like that? Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys today. I'm going to end this one a little early here, but thank you for being on here. If no one has any other questions, maybe I may be live next Tuesday. I may not be, but hey, if I do, I'll throw it in the day before and let you guys know, or a couple days before, give you guys some heads up. Thank you. I really appreciate everybody's support here, and it means a lot. Any questions, just reach out to me, jve@thejve.com. Thank you, guys.